everyone, welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and this is
Pet McDonald, and we're here to continue our playthrough of Imperial Settlers.
But before we do, there was a couple of mistakes that we need to correct, Pep.
We don't make mistakes.
Apparently we do, and the viewers let us know about it. Between rounds, I forgot to save one of my little barbarians because that's one of the abilities we have. I can store them up between rounds.
Right.
So I added an extra one to my template here for this round to make up for it. You had a slightly more involved series of problems. I think there was a rock that you forgot to spend when you were building something.
Yeah, and so if you watch the previous video, there's just a cascade of had to do this differently, had to do this differently. Right. In the end though, everything's fine. All that changed was this Sculptor's Workshop, the last thing that I built. Yep. It had to go back in my hand, and the Hanseatic League that I used to buy it had to go back into play. Otherwise, everything's fine.
Perfect. Okay, well, listen, we can get started with the gameplay then. We had a suggestion that got the most votes from a Tony Simpkins. Let's go to the table and see what he wants us to do.
Let's do it.
The very first thing that Tony wants me to do is send one of my barbarians over to the Watchers Guild. This will allow me to draw the top card from either my faction deck or the common deck, and he wants me to go to the faction. So I'll be drawing and revealing this one, which is called Raid.
That's not a place, that's a thing.
You're right, and it's a thing that we like to do. This one, raiding, is a feature and says that each time that you raise, you gain a victory point. So the option I have here with the Watchers Guild is to build this right away, and I'm definitely going to do that. It's gonna cost me 1 wood, which I have, as well as a foundation, so I'll discard this one here.
Quite a lot of rubble to work with.
Yes, you remodeled my village quite a bit, and I'm gonna try to remodel it back into something a little more barbaric. And the Watchers Guild effect will also give me 2 victory points if I am able to build the building that's revealed, which I did.
Perfect.
Tony doesn't want me to stop there. This building can be activated twice, and I can do it at the same time, which I will.
Drawing from the same deck?
I am gonna draw from my faction deck again, and this is the fighting ring. I like the sound of this. This is an action building, and I definitely will build this. I have the resources to do it. It costs a wood, and it costs a stone, and again, another foundation, so I'll throw this one out. And the effect here is I can spend 2 workers in order to gain 2 swords, which makes for a nice combination with the raid, which requires swords in order to raise. Well, I'm first going to get 2 points, again, from the Watchers Guild, so that puts me at 12. Pep, you're still well ahead with 18. And a final thing that Tony wants me to do, probably a smart idea, is to place this defense token onto the Watchers Guild just to protect it. That particular structure could be pretty helpful for me. In this case, not only to give me 4 points, but I'll also be gaining 2 more points for the new structures that I just built.
At the end of the game.
Right. But that's the end of my turn. Pep, it's over to you.
Listen, Rodney, you've been gaining 2 points too many times for my liking.
You must have a low tolerance. I think I've only done it, twice?
Rule of 2s.
Okay, well, what are you gonna do about it?
I'm gonna get 2 points of my own by spending a worker and an apple at the pig farm. Apparently, pigs like apples.
And I think they like points, because that puts you to 20 points, Pep.
I think you might have wanted to attack my pig farm too. I could smell it coming.
Well, I do like bacon. I don't have enough swords to attack it because you put the shield on here. But you have correctly surmised what I'm doing for my next turn. I am going to try to raise you. I have 2 swords, and I'm going to use them on the watchtower.
I didn't go for your Watchers Guild. Why are you going for my watchtower?
Well,
do you just have the word watch branded now? I can't even use it?
That's right. You can't use it. It's me. And I love what this is going to give me. 2 cards that I can draw. So first of all, we will flip this over for you. And that's also going to give you 1 wood, because when someone raises you, you get a wood from the rubble left over. For the draw that I'm getting as the benefit, I'm going to draw 1 of each from my own faction and from the common deck. And just as a reminder, I have this building in my structure area, the raid, and it's going to give me 1 point each time I raise. So on the scoreboard, I'm going to go up to 13, which ends my turn and sends it back to you, Pep.
Well, my choice for this turn is pretty quick, mostly because of just how much this is going to give me. So I'm going to build a Merchant's Guild. And that's going to cost me 2 wood and 1 stone.
That's very expensive.
But very worth it. Its production is 1 gold coin for each golden building in my empire.
Up to a maximum of 3, thankfully.
And that's how many I have.
Oh yeah, so it is. That's huge, Pep. Coins can be used for any other resource. So not workers and swords, but all the rest of it. Well, I would love to build another faction building. The problem is, it would require me to have a foundation or some other built structure to throw out, and I don't have any to spare. So instead, I am going to first build this tavern. This will cost me a wood and a stone, My barbarians are going to love going to this tavern, even if the tavern doesn't last very long. As an action, I can discard a card from my hand in order to gain 2 points. It also has a building bonus that lets me draw a card at the time it's built, and I'm going to take the top one from the common deck. And that ends my turn.
Now, as I mentioned before, this Sculptor's Workshop is going to have to come back into play. That's the one that I played before, but not really.
Right. Thought that looked familiar.
And to build it, I'm going to have to spend a stone, as well as get rid of one of my ruined areas.
And just as a reminder, this lets you spend a worker and a stone to gain 2 points. My barbarians couldn't wait to get to the tavern. They've charged in there, and we're going to use its ability, which says I have to discard a card from my hand in order to gain 2 victory points. I'll indicate that on the track here, and now I have 15 points.
Do you know what time it is?
I think I do.
Time to make a deal.
There it is.
Whoop. That's going to cost me a coin, which is going to be pretending to be an apple.
Ooh, this is a nice one. It's going to let you draw a card at the start of every production phase. And also right now, what kind of card would you like to have?
I'll be taking one from my faction deck. Whoa!
Like what you got?
I do.
Okay, well, just hold on to that for a moment, because it's my turn next. I know you think I'm just all about the fighting pep, and this probably won't change your opinion, because I'm going to build this armorer. It's going to cost me a wood and a stone I don't have, so I'll spend this coin in its place, and its production is 1 sword.
Of course it is. You know what? I'm tired of this deal already. I'm getting rid of it.
The ink hadn't even dried on it. Why are you doing this?
I'm spending a worker in order to use the Hanseatic League's ability, discarding my deal and gaining myself 2 points.
So this is going to push Pep up to 22 points. My turn is going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to send off 2 of my workers. Those barbarians are going to go and collect some wood. And again, I'm using the ability down here, this action.
Well, what do you know? I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm going to get some stone.
All right, so we'll hand some stone to Pep, and it's back to my turn. I want to keep an eye on you, Pep, and that's why I needed the wood, because I want to build the sentry tower. Just in case you try to send any more missionaries my way, I'm going to spend this 2 wood.
Oh, what building are you demolishing?
I'm going to demolish the one here that I've already used.
Oh, that's a good one.
It was a good one, and I'm giving up the opportunity to gain 2 points from it in the final round. But the benefit of the sentry tower is it will gain me another sword, as well as a worker.
You remember that building I was really excited about?
I do remember. Got a little woo out of you.
Yeah, it's time for that to come into play. It is a trade colony.
This is expensive.
It is. It's going to cost me 2 stone and a wood, which means I'm going to have to pay one of these coins.
Well, I presume the reward is pretty good.
Yeah, this gains me a worker and a gold. But this is a faction building, so I'm going to have to spend this Hanseatic League. And that's not all.
What else?
Well, among its other colors, this trade colony is a red building.
Oh yeah, this has got multiple colors on it. Red, brown, and gray. Right, and this will trigger your gardens.
And that's giving me, you guessed it, another 2 points.
Oh boy. Each time I feel like I'm catching up, you pull farther ahead. Well, you remember that sentry tower that I built. I was able to spy into the Roman territories and see this merchant's guild producing so much gold for you. Well, we're coming over and we're raising it.
You monster, what have you done?
Okay, so this is going away. And then coming back again, face down, you'll gain a wood for it. And the raise reward on it, I believe, was a stone and a gold. Is that right?
Indeed.
Okay, so I'll add these to my supplies. And then, as you may recall, I have the structure that gives me a point every time I raise. So I'll gain that. And that ends my turn.
Listen, we've made some bacon.
Sure have.
We've picked some fruit.
Yep.
And we've made lots of cheesy jokes.
Oh, yeah.
But now it's time for some bread.
Oh, what do we got here?
This is the baker. You're going to love this. First of all, let me pay for it.
Okay.
That's 1 wood,
Yes.
another wood, and a stone. Oh, my gold coins are going away. But what I get in return is amazing. I get 1 point for each of my red buildings.
More points. And you have four, right? 1, 2, 3, 4?
But that's not all. It is a red building. So my gardens is going to give me a bonus 2 points. That's 6 points from
Right,
one
for
card.
building this is triggering this one as well. 6 points, you say?
6 points.
Okay, well, this is ridiculous. You're going to 30 points. I've got a long ways to go to catch up. I can't quite see it from here. The print's pretty small. It seems like you get something else as well.
Yes, there is an additionally there. I get to draw a card. And again, choosing one from my faction.
That was a monster of a turn. Okay, it's back over to me. Hopefully I can come up with something almost as good. People have been seeing the prosperity surrounding my barbarian tribe, and we've actually attracted some settlers who are setting up camp nearby. It's going to cost a wood, which I don't have, but I'll use this coin in its place. The action here says that if I spend a wood, I can forgo tossing out another structure when I build something for my faction deck. But I can only do that once per round. All right, Pep, back to you. Well, Pep, you're running out of things to do here, I'd say.
That's right. All I have left to do is spend my worker and a stone, aka a gold, down here to give me 2 points.
That will move your marker to 32.
Officially twice your score.
That's very true and very distressing. My suspicion is that Pep is going to pass on his turn because he doesn't have much left to do. So I was thinking about maybe going and grabbing some swords to go raise some of his properties, but if he passes, he no longer can be targeted, right?
That's right.
Okay, so I'll have to do something different. I think what I'll do is spend 2 of my workers in order to go and draw a new card. What I have in my hand currently, I can't build, so maybe I can get something better. So I'm drawing a faction card. This one's interesting. While I look at this, Pep, over to you.
I'm actually just passing, you're right.
Okay, so I can just continue taking actions until I'm done. A couple of my barbarians are going to go to the chapel, and that's going to give me 1 point for each, pushing me from 16 up to 18 points. And then I'm going to use this apple in order to make a deal, which will give me, oh boy, I'm destroying everything here, which is going to give me another worker, which I'll add to my supply here. So now I have 2 workers and a stone. And what am I going to do with those? Unfortunately, I don't think there's anything that I should do with them, so I'll just be passing. The nice thing about it, though, is the barbarians can keep any number of workers that they had from the previous round. So I know that I'll still have these, even though this stone will now be discarded. Well, as we head into the cleanup phase, I have to confess, I am not terribly happy with the gap between Pep and I.
Oh, I can fix that.
I don't mean between us here. I mean in the points, Pep. There's too big of a gap.
That's fair.
I need to close it. But first, though, I have to collect all this stuff. Do you have anything to remove from your cards?
I have 1 worker that I did not get to spend, and I don't get to store those. I only get to store my swords.
Right. Okay, so I think everything's cleared away here. It's time for the lookout phase.
Look out!
Yes, and I am going to be the first player as we move into this final round.
Let's do it.
So we'll each draw a faction card to start our turns. And here are the choices that I have to pick from first. We get a couple here that will give points based on the buildings that you have, and a coal mine in the middle that can give you some rocks. This one I can't take much advantage of, but I do like what it would give me if I raised it, so I'll take it for, well, either purpose. We'll see which one I end up using.
And I'm definitely going to take this coal mine.
Okay, so this one we can discard. Well, from these new options, Pep, you get first pick, and there are a couple of doozies here.
Oh, the supplier gives me a coin and a point every time I build a gray building. I'll definitely take that one.
Ooh, so you have some gray buildings to build?
At least 4.
What? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, from what remains, I think I could probably make the most use out of these ruins, actually, because they're free to play, and then I can turn those perhaps into a faction building. I don't think I really need any more wood, so we'll throw this one out. All right. Pep's mopey because I won't put my cards in the tray. Fine,
It's
Pep.
so cool.
I'll put them in the tray. Okay. So we're at the end of another episode. Again, I'm not thrilled with the state of things, so hopefully you can help me out. I don't know how we're going to stop this juggernaut. I've got a lot of swords, though, and I have a feeling there's a lot of things he's got we can burn. Maybe even things that he hasn't placed out yet.
I bet the baker's flammable.
The baker's probably flammable. Is he going to give you any points?
No.
Nah, I don't want to burn it. Anything that gives him points, I want to burn it. I'm going to let you guys see, of course, what I have in my hand, what I have in front of me, what Pep has in front of him, and hopefully you can come up with a good suggestion. If you have a good suggestion, put it in the comments below. And if you like what someone says, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like it, propose your own suggestion. Maybe someone will vote for that. Whichever one gets the most votes, that's what we'll come back and do. But until the next episode, thanks for watching.